Hi fans, this is Adrian Strait and you're listening to POV Podcast.
Another edition of Who's Marty from the APA. And not only that, he's dug himself into more deep trouble. Which is worse, Raw Underground or the 24/7 title? And in the hot tag news this week, the top 3 SummerSlam matches in an all-new edition of Wrestling POV Podcast. What in the bejesus, Rick, is your boy doing?
It's not my boy.
That is your boy.
That is not my boy.
I think this might be the last episode that we do a Who's Marty.
Yeah, I'm already working on new graphics for a new,
man.
new program.
I am your host, Tony Diaz, with Rick Serrano III and our
What's up, people?
intern, Miguel Cole. Man, what in the hell? Please tell me we're going to talk about this in the news portion.
Oh, definitely. It's headlining the news portion for sure.
Oh my God, man. This dude is off his rocker. I don't want to talk about it now.
Speaking of dude off his rocker, what the hell are you even doing here? You weren't even supposed to be here, Mr. Tony. It was supposed to be me and Rick Serrano the Turd and TJ Logan. No, it was gonna be Elio, not TJ. Oh, so that puppet was gonna be here too? You're a puppet. Whoa. Don't be throwing around slanders like that.
Jesus.
You just called him a puppet. Well, I'm allowed to because I'm a puppet. Wow. Jesus. Should I leave? I mean, if you could, it would be nice.
Do you two want to be alone or what? Wow. No, well, things change. Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus.
Things change. Things happen.
Shoot. Yeah. Come on.
Exactly. Jeez Louise. All right, you know what? Let's get on with the show. The Who's Marty? Is this going to be our last one, or we're just changing it up?
We're going to change it up a little bit, but this is definitely going to be our last Who's Marty. Yeah. I think we're going to go with Who's Sean in the future.
Yeah, that might be but the thing of it is, we're still going to be talking about Marty then.
We will. We just won't mention him as much. Who's the Sean of the tag team? Listen, it doesn't roll off the tongue as well as Who's Marty.
True.
Everybody does understand that the Marty of the group is the guy that doesn't go into superstardom. Right, but now we're going to go for the person that goes into superstardom starting next week. So unfortunately for the APA, they're going to have to, one of them is going to be a Marty.
Yeah, one of them is going to be a Marty. And just as you just said, the APA this week, the Acolyte Protection Agency. Who you got on this one?
Yeah, go ahead. Because it's like you got Farouk, you got Bradshaw, Ron Simmons, JBL. It's definitely pretty tough. Looking it over for a long time, because it wasn't. This is not an easy one by any means, I think.
No, this one was pretty hard.
And I think people would take what JBL did after the APA as a positive. And that's not what we're all about here. What we're about here is what was happening during the tag team. Because if, in all fairness, we can go to Ron Simmons before he was Farouk. And with that being said, you look at Ron Simmons as one of the stronger guys. He won a WCW heavyweight title. He did a lot of stuff before he became part of the APA. And as did Bradshaw did afterwards. So the way I'm looking at it is as this. The APA came as a tag team. They rose to superstardom with the ministry. They went on and formed their own Acolytes Protection Agency. And that's where we're settling down in. What happened as a tag team, as the APA? And
Right.
for me, I have to say, I got to go with Farouk as the top contender. Now, see, I threw a little swerve in there.
Look at that.
Bradshaw is the Marty of the tag team, in my opinion.
But you got to explain yourself. How is Bradshaw the Marty?
Well, if you gave me 2 more seconds, I was going to tell you.
I don't have 2 seconds.
You got some explaining to do. I have to say this. For me, it's just athletic ability goes a long way. And I think Farouk definitely has that. When it came to charisma, I also have to give it to Farouk. Farouk was the leader of the Nation of Domination. You know,
True.
He was the leader of the APA, in my opinion. He was not only the athletic guy, but he was also the mouthpiece. JBL, he was the guy that usually would get the hot tag and usually would end the matches with the clothesline from hell. But that's about it for him. And I think if you want to put your money on somebody to shine to superstardom, you got to go with Farouk. And that's my POV on it. And also, JBL wasn't that great. You know, I admired him, but a lot of people did not think he deserved the title reign he got. A lot of people didn't get behind him, and they call him one of the worst heavyweight champions of all time.
Wow.
So for me, putting that all together, past, present, and future, I'm going to go with Bradshaw as the Marty of the APA.
Wow. All right. I'm gonna go into an opposite direction now. Mind you, I'm a bigger fan of Farouk. I really am. Ron Simmons. I'm a huge fan of him. But as the title goes, who's Marty? This isn't a disrespect to Farouk or Ron Simmons. But I'm going to say that he is the Marty of the group, and I'm going to explain why.
Yes, you definitely need to explain that one.
Because we're looking at this as who was successful after they broke up. Who was successful after wrestling. Obviously, we're going to talk about Marty in the news portion, but, I'm not saying these guys did anything like that. They didn't. Or anybody else that we picked as the Marty of the group. But in this case, Bradshaw did become world champion. He was probably one of the top stars in WWE after they left the APA. And where did Ron Simmons go? He just went as a producer or whoever he was in the back. He's still doing it, obviously. So I'm not saying that he wasn't successful after the APA because he was still being involved in wrestling.
But if you were focusing on the APA itself, who would you pick as the Marty of that team? Not knowing what the future was going to show you.
Right. Yeah.
Who would you go with?
It would be, at that point, if we're just focusing on that, then it would be Bradshaw. Because between the two, Ron Simmons was more of the mouthpiece.
Yep.
And he was more of the character. And for me, honestly, I think he was more of the muscle guy.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, but the whole Marty dynamic, the question of it, it would have to go to Ron Simmons because, Bradshaw went ahead and he did things after they split up. He became champion, changed his gimmick, even though I hated it. Had some grueling matches. And we didn't hear much of Ron Simmons. It was just like he disappeared before we even knew that he was a producer in the back. So, in my opinion, as far as the title of Marty goes, and this is based on everything that's been going on between that team, I'm still going to pick Ron Simmons as the Marty of the group based on the success that Bradshaw even had. And I tell you, even when he's done with wrestling, he still did things. He was a special correspondent for Fox News, I think, or somebody for the stocks and whatever. Invested his money wisely, and he tried teaching that with other wrestlers about saving your money, investing.
Commentary as well.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's right. He did commentary as well. So, we saw more of John Bradshaw, JBL, than we did Farouk. Farouk did the thing where he said, damn. That was his only line. And you're going to tell me just doing that line was more successful than what JBL did? You're wrong. You're wrong.
You know what?
But,
I do have...
The thing is with the whole Marty, the whole thing with the term being a Marty is that your shit went downhill. And this is why, like I said, Shawn Michaels went to Stardom. Yep. Okay? And we both said, actually you said, Rick, even when they were a tag team, Marty was the one that stuck out as a team.
Yes.
So even though in this case, Farouk is the one that stuck out in the team,
So if we're playing WWE producers here, and we had to select in 1999 which acolyte was going to get shot to superstardom, you're going to pick Bradshaw to shoot to superstardom, not knowing what the future holds. Because that's exactly what happened with the Rockers. They didn't know what the future held with Shawn Michaels. They just took a dart and they said, bam, Shawn's going to be the superstar. You honestly think that JBL...
If not knowing what they did after, okay, I would have definitely picked Farouk to be that person. Of course, yeah, I would have picked Farouk.
Okay.
But didn't happen, so...
You know what? I do have somebody here for you. Come on over here, sir. What do you have to say to Tony Diaz? Tell me! You didn't just say that! Sucker!
Boy, he's been very active on social media.
I mean...
Wow.
Wait till you see what he tweets about you now.
Yeah, I know. That's okay. That's all right, sucker. So, all right. Let me see. I'm just going to read one comment from this. Josh Sanders said, Farouk, just because in the last two eras, attitude and aggression era, he didn't have a character change or a heavyweight title push. JBL was a brilliant heel. So, pretty much what I said.
Yeah, but you're wrong. It's okay.
No.
Yeah. I think this is the first Who's Marty that we really completely disagree on.
Yeah.
Who's the Marty of the group?
Yeah. Well, this one was difficult too.
And I'm shocked. Honestly, I am very shocked.
Really?
Because you're generally the old school of our dynamic. So it's just like this is definitely like a reverse of situations.
It is, but the thing of it is it's like I said, the term "Who's Marty?" When you say that to somebody, the first thing that comes out of their mind is, all right, who fucked up after the career? But it's I don't want to say that about this team. Because for me, it would be disrespectful to say that about Ron Simmons or even say that about JBL because of what they did after their career. So that's why this was hard. All right. As far as success goes, you got to give it to JBL. He did his thing, changed up his gimmick, changed up his style. Even though they tried to bring back the APA once in a while, and they do get a big pop out of it, but at the same time, I'm just like...
Wasn't the same. It was never the same.
Yeah, that was never the same. So.
But I do have some good news for you. 66% of the people voted that Farouk was indeed the Marty of the APA.
Wow.
33% voted in favor of Bradshaw as the Marty of the group. So,
no shit.
You're right again, I guess.
Well, you got to look at it this way. No. I'm not going to get too far into that. All right, so now our next poll. After seeing the debut of the Raw Underground, which is worse, the 24/7 title or Raw Underground? All right, Rick, explain yourself. You got some explaining to do.
Sir, after one episode of Monday Night Raw with Raw Underground... I just threw my hands up. I said, "What is this? What in tarnation is this? This was ridiculous. This was dumb." And a lot of people do hate the 24/7 title. So I just said, "Listen, I mean, what do you hate more now? Because Raw has the 24/7 title and it has Raw Underground. So one of them has to be worse than the other, right?" So. For me, the way I look at it is this. Ember Moon lost her career possibly to the 24/7 title. So that right away skyrockets it to the top. However, 3 segments of Raw Underground, 3 more segments of Shane McMahon ruining wrestling, 3 segments of no-name guys getting beat by WWE wrestlers. Mm-hmm. Tony, there are just some things that you cannot stage. And I would say a mixed martial arts beat-down fist fight is something you can't stage without it not looking real.
Yeah.
Wrestling is a whole different monster.
No camera angle is going to help you either.
No, exactly.
You notice they tried that.
Uh-huh. And the thing is, in wrestling, when you're throwing a punch, you're taught to throw it a certain way.
Right.
In MMA, you're taught to hit the jaw. You're taught to hit them in the face and stuff like that. So when you see them throwing a wrestling punch and the guy is like getting hit in the shoulder or cowering, right? It's just so unrealistic. And then to have the Hurt business out of nowhere lose everything and in the same episode rise to the top of this broken Raw Underground?
No, I'll explain that part of it. I think why they did that was because I think they listened to the show and how... Because we've said it too about Zelina Vega's team, how, they're on TV every week and then yet they get their asses beat. We've been bitching about that.
Yes, it's true.
This happened with these guys and they kind of redeemed themselves after that. Hopefully they were just like, fuck this shit, man. We ain't doing no Underground next week. But they are because they taped it already.
Yeah.
But, all right, so where are you going with?
So for me, I'm going with Raw Underground is the worst idea they've had in a long time, and I think it's way worse than the 24/7 title. At least the 24/7 title can give us some kind of comedic relief. This
with
just
our
gives
truth.
Yes, and even without the comedic relief, you give me something backstage or around the arena.
Yeah.
Raw Underground just gives me diarrhea. It hurts my stomach.
Wow. All right, so now here's the deal. Here's my opinion on this. Though I do agree with you, oddly enough, I'm part of a group on Facebook. I can't. I'm sorry. If you guys want to private message me who the group is, I will do that. But I will not say it on the air because it's a belt makers group. Okay. And a belt maker, if you guys don't know, I'm not trying to insult nobody's intelligence, but just in case if you don't know, a belt makers group, this is the group that I'm involved with, they make custom titles. If you're a belt collector, and I'm talking about the titles, if you notice on the WWE shop, they don't have a lot of the old school titles. I'll give you a perfect example. The Intercontinental title from years ago, it had the red WWF logo on it. On WWE shop, they won't make it, they won't advertise it, so you'll never see it again. A lot of people who start being new to the belt collecting game, they go to this belt maker, this Facebook group, and he makes it for you. So you can get that belt. A little pricey, I will say, but you got it. The reason why I brought that up is because the biggest item a lot of people ask is for the 24/7 title.
Wow, that is shocking.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, they ask for a lot of titles. Trust me, like when AEW first debuted their title, that was the number one thing everybody wanted was the AEW title. They didn't want to wait for AEW to make theirs. They were just like, so belt makers, the part of the group that I'm in, of course, they take advantage. If you know how to make a custom belt, of course, you're going to make dollars off of this.
Yeah.
They did. Now, I will say this. I know I'm a little off subject, but I'm not
just
too
a little
off.
bit.
Just a little bit. But they did get in trouble because WWE caught on to their game.
Yeah.
And they threatened to sue them and all this other stuff if they don't stop advertising. They didn't say make. They said advertising because of the simple fact of the WWF logo.
Yeah.
So when they post a picture, hey, I got this belt available, on the belt, it has WWF or even WWE. So now what the belt makers has to do is when they post it, they have to black out the WWE part or WWF part, and that way they can sell it. But anyway, so It's for every belt collector's dream. Now, I tell you, when I first saw the 24/7 title, it was atrocious. It was ugly. I was this is preposterous.
Disgusting.
It was disgusting. But it's not about the title, though. It's about the story now.
Yep.
So I kind of, it's kind of like what you said. There's a comedic value to it now. And it's like I said, for some odd reason, a lot of people I guess the belt is growing on them and they like it and they want it. And I'm like, wow, really? So I'm going to agree with you. Now, there is I'm trying to give everything a chance. You know how I am, Rick. I'm always trying to say, all right, well, let's just see where it goes.
I know you are.
With the Raw Underground, it's brand spanking new. At this point in time, I'll agree with you though. I'll say that the what was the question again?
What's worse, Raw Underground or 21?
So yeah, no, I'll agree. I'll agree with you by saying that the Raw Underground is the worst between that and the 24/7 title.
Now, a follow-up question is: do you honestly think that Raw Underground can be a success in WWE?
It depends. It depends on that. Depends on what, because I will say this: I hated the first two segments. Oh wait, was it 3 segments?
It was 3
altogether?
segments. Yeah.
Altogether for the whole show.
Yep.
All right, so I hated the first 2 segments, but I kind of dug the last segment. Okay,
I don't like that MVP acts like a big shot.
Like just trying to act like but you know what though? Think of it this way: how MVP's acting is almost kind of like a manager talking shit because he's got 2 big guys with him.
And I would be fine with that, but he himself is getting into the ring
which is fine.
Beating people down.
Which is fine. Every scared shitless person, when they act like that and do that, you just want them to get their ass kicked even more.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you. I think it's a little bit too much because it's outshining Lashley and Benjamin.
Yes.
So I think that needs to kick back a little bit and do something else as far as, like, if they're beating up on somebody, he throws in his 2 cents.
Yeah.
That's what they need to start doing with him. But, yeah, for him actually having matches and this and that, especially if you're going to have him lose. If you're going to have him lose, don't even bother with it because everybody's going to get what they want as far as him getting his ass beat.
And how does this, intertwine with, a SummerSlam match against Apollo? You know what I'm saying? It's just now we got Raw Underground and now we got a title match at SummerSlam. You're combining too many things. So I don't think there's any hope in this getting off the ground. If I am wrong, I will gladly admit it here on the WPOV podcast.
I think I don't see it going no more than a month. I don't.
Yeah.
If it does, I'll be shocked and I'll be I'll be right with you in saying that I was wrong, but I really don't see it going no more than a month.
They're lucky they're not going in the book for this nonsense.
If they go past the month, then they will go in the book. Depending on what they do. Depending on what they do. Yeah. We'll talk more about it when we go to Raw notes. But Josh Sanders at 24/7. Raw Underground is about to say, "Hold my beer and be worse." All right, so what percentage did you get on this bad boy?
All right, so Raw Underground got 66% of the vote, and 24/7 got 33% of the vote. So another lopsided victory for Raw Underground.
Yeah, that is. Wow. All right, so if anybody else have any questions or comments, throw it on our Facebook page, and we'll be glad, I just added the Lee from my own personal reasons, talk about it on the show. We might make fun of you. We might not. We might have a serious discussion about it. We might have a long discussion about it.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's a big maybe. But yeah, just drop us a line. If it's not for us, do it for the global guys.
Yes, definitely do it for them because they're the great show. They're the best of the best. Jesus. They're the better than the rest. Why are you here?
Is TJ throwing him some Canadian quarters or something?
It must be. Or he's giving them a little extra Canadian beaver.
Whoa! Canadian moose knuckle. Wow.
Ha ha ha. Yeah, real funny.
All right, with that being said, it is time for the wrestling news from around the world. Take it away, Rick.
All right, and before I do that, let's get into some birthdays. Devon, get the birthday cake. Happy birthday, Devon Dudley, as he turns 48 years old.
Wow.
Wrestling producer for WWE backstage.
Yeah,
getting
the
more
man
than
in charge
tables
of
now.
The man in charge of the 1-gallon dehydrated piss jar.
I mean, it's only up from here, Devon. Only up from here.
That's all he can do. Unfortunately.
Speaking of unfortunately, Damien Sandow turns 38 years old.
Wow, where is he? I thought wasn't he in Impact?
He was, and then he left, and he went to. Is he with this AWA now? NWA now?
That's right. He is. Yeah. Hey, good for him.
And it just seems so long ago that we were talking about Damien Sandow. Like, that was 4 years ago that we were talking about him and The Miz, and you being all over Damien Sandow.
Yeah.
Hated that gimmick.
Genius.
It was terrible.
It was great.
It was horrible.
I think he would be definitely benefit right now.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Joining Miz and Morrison?
Ugh.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
Tony, speaking of puppies, Sable turns 53 years old.
Wow, she's 53.
53.
Wow.
Don't say it. Don't say it, because Brock is listening.
I was going to say, that's Brock's old lady.
Whoa.
That's Brock's old lady.
Brock is like, what did he say? Old lady.
Old lady? Come here, motherfucker.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Speaking of...
he's the only dude that can't even say that word, right?
Yeah.
That's why he doesn't do a promo.
Yeah, that's why.
Can't scream, can't curse. The fuck is wrong with you?
Speaking of Mario, Yoshitatsu turns 43 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, out in New Japan. I don't know if he's still out there wrestling. I know he was there for a little bit. But I don't know if he's still... Were you a fan of Yoshitatsu back in the day? With Kofi Kingston and stuff like that? That bad haircut. I mean, his haircut would definitely be in the book, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Yes.
We should do it right now. We're talking about it.
And last but not least, the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler, turns 40 years old. Now,
wow.
I remember last year when we first said her happy birthday, and everybody, including you and myself, was so shocked that she was 39. Yeah. Are you as shocked that she's 40?
Yeah. Yep. I am. Because now it's just she's going to be reaching her midlife crisis. And, but she doesn't look 40.
No, she doesn't. And it looks like they did listen to our show last week, because apparently that Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax got scrapped.
Yeah.
So, it must have said, the Wrestling POV guy said, no, let's cut this. So,
no, they were probably like, Wrestling POV guys picked up on our bullshit. Let's scrap it. These guys are good. Let's scrap it, though. These guys are good.
All right, it is now time for the wrestling news from around the world. Marty. Ladies and gentlemen, Marty Jannetty. So like we said earlier in the show, we are no longer going to be having Who's Marty. Starting next week, we'll be picking up on Who's Sean. Thank you, Marty, for fucking that up. But Marty Jannetty goes on his Facebook page at least once a day and puts up some ridiculous posts, some crazy stuff. And this did not change. Earlier this week, he posted a post about how he almost got assaulted sexually. And he said basically he attacked the guy and he made him disappear in the river.
Yeah.
And he said that the cops should have checked the river, basically. So everybody just went crazy. Everybody just started resharing it, retweeting it, putting it on Facebook. And Marty deleted it. And but everybody already copied it and
screenshot it. Yeah.
Screenshot it and spread it all over the intranet. And it was just everybody was just like, "Yo, did Marty Jannetty just admit to committing murder?
Admit to murder?
Like, is this real?"
Mm-hmm.
A couple of days later, he finally responds and says, "I didn't say I killed him." He said that he did hit the guy with a brick.
He hit him with a brick, yeah.
And he said that he just made him disappear, but he said he didn't kill him. Police, however, are investigating.
They're looking into it. Yep.
They're looking up missing
so
people.
So far, everything he said, they have found it to be accurate.
Wow.
Like not accurate. Let me take that back. The river that he said that he dumped the body in does exist.
Okay.
The place, the bowling alley, that exists. So he's not. If somebody was lying, don't you think that they would make a fictitious lake or river or a fictitious bowling alley?
It is Marty Jannetty, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's when he was saying where the river was called Chattanooga or something like that. Chattanooga, and he named the bowling alley, and police already confirmed that. Yeah, we do have that.
So
and they did acknowledge the person too.
Yeah, so they're looking into missing people reports. And from the time, and Marty could be in some trouble. Now, the way I look at it, if he was about to get sexually assaulted, and he was able to defend himself, do you think that changes anything? I
don't know. I don't.
Okay. Because for me, the way I look at it is that it's self-defense.
Right.
And then
he was 13.
Yes, and that's the thing. And there is a place that you can't cross when it comes to self-defense. For example, if someone breaks into your home and you just so happen to grab a knife and you stab them and you put them down, you're fine. Like that, they'll be like, that's self-defense. But if you go and you start stabbing them 60 times, that's when they're like, okay, that's manslaughter or aggravated assault, and you kill them, you're going to jail. But I don't know how it stands for like a teenager, a child, basically a 13-year-old boy would
and I will add this too, and I'm not making excuses, I really am not, but he was buying weed from this guy.
Okay.
He was buying drugs.
Yeah.
Not weed. I don't know what kind. It might have been weed. I think it was weed because he's a big weed smoker. So he was buying weed from this guy. So, just to
the way I look at it. The way I look at it, though, we'll find out. I mean,
yeah. And on top of that, he also said this wasn't the first time.
Yeah.
Did you catch that?
Yeah.
He said that this was not the first time he's done this.
Yep.
So,
and he's also been posting some racially insensitive stuff as well.
Yeah. Well, I guess apparently how this all started was he was breaking up with some girl, or some girl broke up with him.
Yep.
And he was saying, "You don't understand how much I love you." Da da da. And then that's when he went on this tyrant about the person he supposedly murdered.
Yeah. And the thing is, it came off as threatening towards that woman, because it's like, well, I murdered someone before.
Exactly.
And no one found the body.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and even when he was talking about that person that he supposedly murdered, he used the offensive word, and because he was about to get raped by this guy. And he also you're right though, he used some other racial words.
Yeah.
And so I mean, overall, Rick, I mean, what the hell's going on with Marty?
You know, a couple years ago, I tried reaching out to him, and I tried to get him on the show to talk with him, and it was just always an awkward conversation back and forth with me and him. I'm not gonna go into detail of what we discussed, but there was I always had a sense that something was off. And then when I confirmed that this was actually his Facebook page, because, you know, I started feeling like this is no way that this is him. And then people were like, no, dude, that's Marty Jannetty. Like, that's it's confirmed that that's his page and that's who he is. And then you start seeing everybody's like, yo, Marty Jannetty's losing his mind. And I'm like, So it all makes sense. This
Yeah.
guy's just been off his rocker for a long time now. I just wish him the best. I wish he got help. I wish he definitely has a problem.
There's something wrong with him.
With substance abuse and sexual abuse. Like, he's always posting pictures about women and being with a bunch of women and stuff like that. So it's just like, dude needs help.
Yeah.
Sean tried to help him.
The awkward statements he made about his daughter, too.
Yep, and then he even attacked Sean on Facebook a couple of weeks ago.
Did he really?
Yeah, just basically making the joke, about Pat Patterson. Saying that the reason why Sean went to Superstardom was because Sean went down on Pat Patterson.
Jesus, man. Wow.
Yeah. And he posted a picture of, like, action figures with a Shawn Michaels action figure and a Pat Patterson action figure showing the position. And it's just like, Marty.
Dude.
Great Scott. Get help, bro. Like,
yeah, there's something definitely wrong with him. I tell you this much, and I've said this many times on the show, and I'll continue to say it too, unfortunately. But the WWE right now is the biggest platform that you could be on.
Absolutely.
And any time that they bring in an old school wrestler, it always ups their value.
Yeah.
It always brings them back to light. Because I'm sorry to say, we talked about MVP earlier, and how many people remembered MVP?
I know, and
Not
he
much.
even got merchandise now.
Not much. And he was, when he was with WWE, he was a big deal.
Yep.
They used him properly, in my opinion. He did make a name for himself. When they released him, when they released him, he still went on to make money. His value at the time, I'm pretty sure, was pretty good. But I'm not saying this is accurate, but let's just say he did. He was charging like $500 a show. Now, after years, I think he made an appearance in TNA, didn't he? Or no?
Yep. Yeah, he did.
He did, right? And
the Beatdown Clan.
That's what it was. Yes. So now you're looking at this and thinking, he was trying to, get his value back up again, because it was probably sinking. Because I'm sorry to say, when your value is at $500 per show, and you haven't been on TV in a while, let's just say a year or two, and you're going to come up to me and says, I charge $500 a show, I'm going to say, I'm sorry, but you're not worth $500 right now. I'll give you $2 if you show up.
Yeah, it's
$250. So what do these guys try to do? They go to TV. They try to bring their value up. The best way to do it is to get back in WWE. Why? Because that's the pinnacle. That's the top game. So if you make it back there, your value goes straight back up again. He was in TNA. Was his value shot up? A little bit. Bit. He comes back to WWE. I guarantee you right now his value just skyrocketing. Especially with this new faction he's formed. So why am I saying this? Because you got somebody like Marty, who was with probably one of the, I'm not going to say the best tag teams, but with a really good tag team in the day. Young kids, young men.
Considered one of the greatest tag teams. I would say top 15.
That I would go with that. And was in the WWE. Probably was in one of the biggest storylines in history.
Absolutely, one of the biggest turns of all time.
Yeah,
I think the biggest
betrayal.
Biggest betrayal, because the biggest turn of all time goes to Hulk Hogan, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got to be. That's a good subject to talk about, too, on quarantine. But anyway. So he was part of that. He will forever be in part of that. But does that make your value up or stay the same? No, it doesn't, because after a while, it's like, oh, yeah, that was cool. But it's not cool now. Or whatever it shall be. But I'm pretty sure, like, his value was sinking, and he probably tried coming back on WWE, which he did a couple times.
Yes, he did. Kurt Angle.
His value probably went up a couple times. Who knows? It goes back down. WWE see how much of a whack job he is. You got Triple H there running the show. You got Shawn Michaels in there as part of, running the show. And I'm pretty sure they're like, no, don't ever bring him back. So I'm sure he realizes that. So what does he do? He makes up some crazy shit to try to stay relevant, to try to up his value. Because I'm sorry to say, there's always somebody out there, and we've said this many times. If the character is bad or if it's wrong or whatever, there's one idiot out there that'll say, "I'll take him in." There's this one internet guy. What the hell? Super H or something like that. What's his name? Know. Superhuman.
Oh, yeah. Idiot. Oh, God, yeah.
Now, I will never endorse this dude. Ever. He's untrained. Never been in the WWE at all. He's just this internet dude that says the dumbest shit and then does the dumbest shit. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to say. And actually, honestly, I know I'm like all over the place. I was part of the Pro Wrestling Loot Crate, which is you get a surprise box every month, and they give you an autograph picture, a couple t-shirts, some memorabilia, stuff like that, right? So the one autograph I got was that fucking idiot.
Jesus, that's just terrible.
And you know how he signed it?
How?
Just with an H.
Wow.
That's it. The letter H. That's how he signed it.
He probably can't spell.
But my gripe about it is that this guy who had no training at all, just somebody, because they kept putting him in shows.
Yeah.
Untrained. And they were putting him in indie shows. Give me a fucking break. Anyway, but he's trying to up his value all the time too. And he's never even been in WWE. And WWE will never get him because you look at this dude, he screams backyard. But either way. So Marty, you get Marty, and he's, to me, I think he's just doing this crazy shit to try to get his value up.
I agree.
Because think of it now. Everybody in their brother that has a wrestling podcast right now is talking about Marty Jannetty.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. I'm sorry. They are.
Of course they are.
So you want him on your show, what happens? Well, I was charging $150, but I'm going to charge you $500. Wait, what? Hey, you want my story, right? Seriously, is it a good marketing scheme? Admitting to murder? Oh, man. Marty, poor Marty. I know, like I said, I went all over the place, but I just had to explain that because somebody like Marty Jannetty will never be back in WWE.
No.
He will not be a Hall of Famer.
Nope.
So the WWE knows how wacky he is, but he's got to try to find some way to up his value.
How's he even maintaining money?
Yeah, I know. Like I said, there's always somebody out there.
But there's only so many people that are willing to pay. Like, you can't survive off of nostalgia, can you? Can he? Can he really survive
Jimmy
off of
Snuka
his...
did.
Woo!
And he actually murdered somebody.
That's true. But Vince had his back in that whole thing.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. Supposedly, Vince had his back in that whole thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Don't want to get sued.
There's a lot of nostalgia wrestlers out there. They're just still out there. The Midnight Rockers or Midnight Express. No, is it the Midnight Rockers? Midnight Rockers, yeah. They just
Rock
won
and Roll
the NWA.
Express?
Rock and Roll Express, yes, sorry.
Yeah.
They just won the NWA titles.
Yeah.
And they're like in their 60s.
Yeah.
And they're still trying to up that. Like I said, when they made that appearance, when they made the Hall of Fame in WWE, their value went up. And after that, they won the NWA titles.
Value went up?
The value went up even more.
Oh, Marty.
I don't know. You don't know. I don't know if this has anything to do with Marty trying to up his value. But, dude, he's making a big scene. We're talking about him. Everybody's talking about him. Marty, get your shit together, brother.
Speaking of a big scene, Nikki Bella and Brie Bella each have a baby boy a day apart from each other.
Did they plan it?
Wow, how cool is that?
That is, yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, they were probably like bedrooms apart when they was conceiving it.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. Serious.
Oh man, we're not talking about your fantasies. Oh Lord. Yeah, seeing Daniel Bryan's bare ass. Yeah.
Oh,
Had to throw that out there. Austin Theory has been suspended indefinitely from the WWE officially because of his whole thing in the speaking out movement of messaging a 13-year-old girl. Is he done?
I think they're looking into it.
Yeah. We haven't seen Velveteen. Just gonna put that out there.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's right.
You know, we were speculating about that, and you kept saying how he had lawyers, but the second coming of this, when the speaking out movement came out, he was targeted again, and he's hasn't been on TV since.
Wow, yeah. But then I do gotta say the ring announcer for AEW, he was part of that speaking out movement too.
And he's still there.
He's still there. So
I agree.
AEW, y'all need to get your fucking priorities straight. But I didn't even notice that. But I think I think they're just waiting to see if anything's gonna come to light of this. If it comes out to be false or not true, we'll see him back, and he'll be back with Seth.
Absolutely.
Same thing with Velveteen Dream. If nothing comes out of this, he'll be back.
Yeah.
He'll be back.
Well, Matt Riddle's still wrestling, so
that's true.
This is a lot of stuff going on. But I will end on this bit of news. My last bit of news, some good news. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, has purchased the XFL.
Well, his ex-wife did.
His ex-wife has purchased. But if I mention The Rock's ex-wife purchases the XFL, you're going to be like, oh, yeah. But if I say The Rock, Dwayne Johnson purchases the XFL, you get excited.
I think they both bought it. I'm not sure.
He's a participating partner in part of her company. Her company bought it for $15 million, and he has a hand in it. Because obviously, and my wife did mention it, it was like about his ex-wife purchasing it. You need a face there, though. You need somebody to run. Like Derek Jeter, he's part owner of the Marlins. He's a minor owner of the Marlins. But you need a major face to be running your company, right? To be promoted out there. The Rock is that. The Rock is the highest paid actor.
But for me, what just happened for me just set history, because number one, he owns it. The first black person to own a sports organization.
It's true.
His ex-wife, who they are now like best friends.
Yeah.
She handles all his business affairs.
Yeah.
And she has that company. She's the first female owner of a sports franchise.
Absolutely.
So everybody should
Sports league.
Deal. Sports league, yes. Yes, my bad.
So it's huge. And you know what? The second coming of the XFL, I went to the first Guardians game.
Yes, you did.
Wasn't terrible. Was not terrible. I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. It was football during the time where there was no football. So it was just more football. Okay, I'll take it. So I was not disappointed in it. Do I think The Rock has... But listen, The Rock has played football. He had his TV show Ballers, which I enjoyed. I honestly think he's going to add a lot to the league itself. And they said they want to keep the same plans that XFL 2 had. So hopefully this works out. And again, let's not forget, XFL did not fail. It went under because of this quarantine, because of COVID. If it wasn't for COVID, they would still be running. So good for them.
Do you think they would have been successful, though?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. People were tuning in. The football would have gotten better because there were some blowouts, but I think it would have gotten better as time would have progressed. But overall, I think XFL does have a future, and now with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, I think it's going to be successful. Let's get into some rumors, shall we?
Yeah, I only got one rumor this week. The current plan right now is for the WWE to hold a draft. They're going to hold another draft come October.
Lord.
Yep.
Just leave it as is. It's just like...
Why?
We're not even following rules. Yeah.
They did the brand split how long ago? And how well did that work, though?
There's not even GMs or anything.
There's
You
no
have
GMs. Yeah.
you have a
Should
face.
they be having GMs?
Absolutely, it
Yeah.
works with William Regal for NXT.
It's true.
When you have an issue, well, Mr. Regal has to make a decision.
You know what? He's been the GM for a very long time.
Absolutely.
You know what? Let's do a poll. Should the WWE bring back GMs?
Absolutely, we'll do that.
We'll do that. I
Yes.
think that's a good question. I want to hear from the fans and see where they come from with this, because for me, it depends on who the person is. I think like people like Stephanie need to stay away.
Yep.
Shane McMahon needs to stay away. Bring somebody else in.
You
'Cause
need
obviously,
somebody.
if it's working for William Regal to be NXT's GM for God knows how many years, I think they need to do the same.
The thing is with William Regal is that he is neutral. He's just
Yeah.
what's best for the company. He's not about being a heel or being a face, and he's not on TV all the fucking time. It's
That's
just
true.
every
That
now
is
and
true.
then, Mr.
Every
Regal
now
got to
and
make
then.
a decision.
Now, wouldn't this be a good idea? I think this would be actually a good idea. Back in the day, the wrestling WWE or WWF at the time had Jack Tunney as president.
Yes, I agree.
Why don't they just make William Regal president?
Yeah, I can see that, and that would work. He could do all
If
three.
he's holding it down like that, and you're absolutely right, you barely see William Regal on TV. Rare. But when he does show, like you said, he's very, very neutral because he does what's best for the company. He can do the same for all three shows.
You know what, Tony? How about that? How about we put a poll about should William Regal be the modern day Jack Tunney for all
you
three
go.
shows?
For all
We'll do
three
that.
shows, yeah.
I agree. That's Tony, nail, hammer on the head right there.
Yeah.
You just did that. You just did
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? I swear to God, if by next week or the week after that happens, I am going to call WWE and I'm going to be like, you owe me some money.
You heard it here first, people.
I think it would be a good idea.
I think so.
Because then that way they don't have to worry about who they can bring in as a nostalgic person.
No, I
Makes
agree.
sense.
I absolutely
because
agree.
Then you're right, though. You're absolutely right what you said, because then you bring in somebody like a Kurt Angle. No disrespect to Kurt, but let's just say they bring in a Kurt Angle. It's going to take away. Now you taking Raw, the show, away because you want to focus on the new GM.
Yep.
You got somebody like William Regal. First of all, and again, no disrespect to William Regal, but who cares?
Yeah.
But at the same time, how they're doing it with him in NXT, if they do the same thing with all three shows, it's not going to be a problem.
It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
You know, and then we don't get some random fucking authority figure going after Nia Jax. Who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah. But then, again, no disrespect to Paige, but she's no GM.
No.
She's no GM. You look at William Regal.
I see it. I absolutely see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
So,
He's no Teddy Long. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
you know what? For that, Miguel, you have a match with The Undertaker, player. In a tag team. That's all I got for the rumors. Injury. What do you got, Rick?
My ears after Miguel, like, tried it so hard to come at me about Theodore Long. You know, I wish I had control of the soundboard, because I would have definitely hit the Office one on you right here, right now, because you deserve that one.
That is true.
Why are you the way you are? You know what,
the
Miss?
way that you are.
Oh.
Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting,
It just makes no sense.
make it not that way. I hate
This doesn't make sense.
so much
Yeah.
about the
It's
things
just
that
ridiculous.
you choose to be.
Hey,
See?
you know what? He does it on purpose.
I push the buttons, and that's what I do. Oh, yeah, you do. You definitely push buttons. You definitely do. You know what? And you know what? There are no injuries, but you know what? I do wish injury upon you. And you know what else, Miguel? There is a guy that I want you to fight, and I think you guys should fight. And his name is Elio Canella, the gentleman. Oh, please! I will wipe the floor with him. I'll tell you why you guys should fight, though. Because on Global, apparently he's trying to start a fight with Taz himself. On the last episode of Wrestling POV
really?
Global, he's trying to start with Taz. Oh, yeah, and I know, I heard it. And he said if Taz was to step to him, he would run away because he's a coward. Well, I can tell you right now, Elio will kick your ass. For sure. Mr. Rick, you just started something that Elio's gonna regret.
Oh boy.
All right, whatever. Let's go into
Stay
the hot
tuned
tag
for part
news.
2.
Yeah. Let's get this
On
going
Wrestling
to
POV Global.
hot tag news, people.
All right, hot tag news this week. We are asking what are your top 3 SummerSlam matches of all time. We do have the SummerSlam pay-per-view coming up in a couple of weeks. So, what are your top 3 SummerSlam? Should I read the questions and then us or no?
You know what? Just go ahead and read the comments first because it's so difficult to get just 3 matches, and I feel like listening to some of these will help me out. Get my 3 down.
Well, Clay Cummings. Did he have his baby yet?
Not yet. She's still holding on to that.
She's still boy. Wow. Alrighty then. You said it was a boy or a girl?
It's a boy.
It's a boy?
Yes, they're gonna name it Rick. It's confirmed.
Tony Rick. That's what they gotta call him. Well, he comes on. He said, I would have to say my favorites are Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio from 2005, Shawn Michaels versus Triple H in 2002, and his number 1 pick was Bret Hart versus Owen Hart in 1994.
Yes.
He also said so many to choose from, but those 3 stuck out.
Definitely, those are 3 good picks. I mean, a lot of people do like the Eddie versus Rey match. Again, I was kind of drifting off of wrestling during that time, so I wasn't. I watched it, but I just wasn't really big on that story. That story was ridiculous. Like, obviously, it's Rey's son. But the unsanctioned match with Shawn Michaels and Triple H I thought was good. And, of course, Owen versus Bret in that steel cage with the whole family ringside. That was just epic. I thought it was a great SummerSlam match. Go ahead.
Josh Sanders. This has to come to no surprise, but he said Edge and Christian versus Hardys versus the Dudleys, the TLC match in 2000.
Okay.
Edge versus Taker in Hell in a Cell in 2008.
Oh, Lord.
And Edge versus Cena in 2006.
This guy needs to get, listen, man. Whatever you got to do, if I set up you to meet him, would you stop? If Josh, I'm talking to you with this. If I set you up to meet Edge and I get this to work, I could pull some strings and I could probably get you to meet Edge. Would you just stop? Listen, man. I know they have this thing with everybody saying Edge is Mr. SummerSlam, but please stop. Please stop. All 3 matches have Edge in them.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Oh, Lord.
Go ahead.
Elio Canella, he said Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect in 1991.
That was great.
That was a good match. Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio in 2005. The Warrior versus Rick Rude in 1990.
Wow, is that the one with oh no, that was whose wife was that? That was Jake the Snake's wife. He
Jake
had
the Snake.
Yeah. Wow, Warrior
Todd Silver.
Warrior and that's wow. Okay, Elio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Todd Silver, he said the Warrior versus Rick Rude in Steel Cage. Austin versus Taker. LOD versus Money Inc.
Really? That is, listen, that is the one where Hawk was drunk?
I think so, yeah.
That is the one, yeah, because I was in Wembley Stadium. For sure. Wow, Todd Silver. Oh, man.
All right, well, I'm gonna go with my picks, and then that way you should have more than enough time to marinate and for yours. But mine was the TLC match in 2000.
That's definitely a great one. All right.
I think that was my number 1. My number 2 was Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon in the ladder match in 1995.
That's the second edition of their ladder match where things swapped, where Razor became the heel and Shawn was the babyface. Okay, that's a good one.
And my last one was the Bret Hart versus Owen Hart Steel Cage match in 1994.
That's definitely one of the greatest of all time. I definitely have to agree with that. But it's not in my top 3. And I'm gonna go name my top 3 right now. This may come as a surprise. I'm going with AJ Styles defeating John Cena in SummerSlam.
Wow, really?
This is one of my favorite SummerSlam matches of all time. It's obviously one of my favorites because it's top 3. Yeah. And it's when I feel like the torch was passed to AJ Styles to carry this company. And I feel like at that time, he was definitely doing that. And to beat Cena clean, obviously was just a huge push. Now, this one may come as no surprise as I picked CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar. Now, what would have made this a number 1 was if CM Punk would have won the match. But I think this is one of Brock Lesnar's best matches from his return, within the last, 8 years that he's been back.
Something like that, yeah.
This was actually a great wrestling match with CM Punk, and I thought it was a great story that was being told. And last but not least, I'm shocked this has not been mentioned. Bret Hart versus the British Bulldog in Wembley Stadium. That's got to be hands down the greatest SummerSlam match. In my opinion, my POV, it's definitely the greatest of all time. And I can hear Matt Novak in the background saying, "Yes, mate, that is the one. That is the one, mate. That's the number 1. Wembley Stadium, England, London. That's the one." So I got your back, Matt. For sure, Bret Hart losing to the British Bulldog for the Intercontinental title was definitely number 1 in my book.
Yeah.
Listen, man. SummerSlam is one of, like we always say, it's the big 4, one of the big 4. Where would you rank SummerSlam and your big 4 ranking?
What do you mean between Royal Rumble,
and Survivor Series?
Where I would rank? Wow. Man. Obviously, WrestleMania is number 1.
Okay.
For me, number 2 would be the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
And I think they would definitely fall number 3.
Okay. And then Survivor Series 4?
And then Survivor Series number 4, yeah.
You know,
and the reason why is because at least with the Royal Rumble, there's a surprise.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, they won't say who it is, but obviously lately they have been. But think of it this way. And it was funny because I saw this meme, wrestling meme, and it said the one thing 2020 didn't ruin was Edge's entrance into the Royal Rumble.
That's true.
the surprise factor in that, the building blew up.
It did.
So that's why Royal Rumble for me will be a strong number 2. Okay. It's for me. It's not even close with SummerSlam, but that's how strong it is. And then obviously WrestleMania. Where you put it?
See, and that's the thing. Like, just thinking about it, I love SummerSlam. It was just huge for me. I mean, obviously the biggest party of the summer, the hottest party of the summer.
Yeah.
We had a lot of great moments, but for me, Royal Rumble is number 1. I love Royal Rumble. I think it is my absolute favorite pay-per-view of the year. Every year, I'm excited for it. WrestleMania is number 2. And now this is where it gets a little tricky because I love the gimmick of Survivor Series, of having a team 4-on-4, 5-on-5, and over the years, obviously, it's been changed, and obviously over the years, it's been limited. If I was a child or I was a teenager picking this, I would definitely put Survivor Series at number 3 because I just loved the whole gimmick of it. And I love the Thanksgiving feel to it.
Yeah, that's true.
But over the years, it has grown worse. And it's not been the same. So I will put SummerSlam as number 3 and Survivor Series as a close 4th. But I think there's no losers. I think all 4 are great pay-per-views. I think,
no, definitely for sure. But I will say this, okay? With all the rankings that we just did, the reason why I ranked Survivor Series last is because of exactly what you just said, too. It's just the fact that lately, the past few years, it has gotten bad. My thing is, at least with the Royal Rumble, there's something at stake.
Yes.
You win, you go to WrestleMania. And then now, the cool thing about it is that they added the women. You win, you get a shot at the title. A couple, of heavyweight title matches, or there's a title match, more than a couple of title matches in the Royal Rumble anyway. So that's cool to see. Something's on the line. WrestleMania, obviously everything is on the line. SummerSlam, there's always something on the line, a title match or whatever. I'm not saying Survivor Series is not, but there's nothing. I don't want to say on the line. What's the word? You don't get anything by winning the 4-on-4. There's nothing. You just win bragging rights.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's it. It's like, okay, why do this then? It's so that's why for me, Survivor Series is last, because of the simple fact that there's really nothing on the line, nothing special. The special thing they have for Survivor Series, and it's just basically bragging rights. That's it.
Yeah, but the thing is, the back in the day spectacle of it was you have 4 heels who would never cross together, joining forces against 4 baby faces who would never come together. And it was just like, okay, so LOD's hanging out with Ultimate Warrior now. And it's just like, okay, that's pretty badass.
Well, yeah, I agree. But like you just said, though, but after time, they kind of ruined it.
Yeah,
because I would have to say, the last 5-6 years, maybe longer, it's always been Raw versus SmackDown.
Yeah, and now it's Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT, which could bring back some of that oomph that was missing. I know last year it brought back a lot of oomph. So maybe it's Survivor Series jumps up now. You know,
it might. You know, that's a good point that NXT is now involved, and that's cool. I did dig it last year. I digged it a lot.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I think when those things were happening, it started on SmackDown, and that was a couple of SmackDown's wins last year.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely was. But I think for next week. For our hot tag news, how about we throw out what were the 3 worst SummerSlam matches of all time? I think we'll definitely have, and I'll tell you one thing, Josh, Edge may be in all 3.
Well, you know what? How about what we can do is instead of doing that, why don't we hear everybody else's rankings for the top 4 pay-per-views?
Okay, we can do that as well.
Because that's interesting how you have the Royal Rumble as the number 1.
Yeah.
So I think it would be. I want to hear everybody else's. See what their number 1 is, or number 2, or what's last, and hopefully a lot of the fans out there will give an explanation of why. And of course, we will have some people that will just ruin it.
Yes, they'll say, "Where's Money in the Bank?" Shut up.
Oh my God! If somebody does that, I swear. Oh Lord. If they add an AEW pay-per-view, I'm definitely...
Where's Double or Nothing?
Double or Nothing's number 1, man.
All right.
Always happens, Rick.
It does. And I think because of that, I think we should definitely take a break, a little pause for the cause. And when we come back, we'll go over This Week in Wrestling. And we'll be right back after this.
Hey, everybody. Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. Make sure to listen to the Wrestling POV podcast.
This is Chavo Guerrero Jr. Listen to the Wrestling POV podcast. You guys truly bring the Latino heat. Viva la raza.
And we are back. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go to ColorNobleBrand.com, where former rocker, not Marty, Jannetty, but Al Snow created a company called the Collar Noble Brand. Go to ColorNobleBrand.com. Wow. Save yourself 10% by using promo code WPOV. That's right. Use promo code WPOV and save yourself 10% on anything at ColorNobleBrand.com. Also, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/WrestlingPOV and collect your Wrestling POV merchandise today. Get 4 great t-shirts for $19.99 each, plus shipping and handling. Wrestling POV Global even has a brand new t-shirt that you would definitely love to wear. A Legend Gentleman t-shirt.
If you could just go ahead and make sure you do that from now on, that would be great.
Okay.
Alrighty then. So, yeah, that would be great.
I'm just sick and tired of hearing his mouth.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
$19.99. Buy a shirt.
Jesus. Wow.
This Week in Wrestling. You know, you've been talking a lot today. You haven't been talking this much at all. I know. And also, I've been doing a lot of things on the Twitter machine. I go on Twitter and I put up different polls for you guys to help you guys out. Well, thank you for that. I do appreciate that. It's the least you can do. You know, Tony, we gave him control over Twitter
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yep.
And we lost followers.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, I speak my mind. You don't have a mind. You have stuffing. You fucking puppet.
All right, this week in wrestling, Raw notes. All right, where do I begin? Jesus. My highest, I have two highest moments of Raw. Apollo Crews versus MVP. I gave it a 2.5. And the last part, Seth promo with Samoa Joe getting involved. I gave that a 2.5. And I don't, because, now I'll tell you the reason why. And it was only because I thought, I'm like, all right, this is different. Now we're going to see Samoa, and then it didn't happen, so I was kind of disappointed. And then the Underground thing, way to spoil Shane's return. Again, why spoil all that? It could have been so much better if you just kept it a secret. They're trying to increase ratings. I get it, but since when was Shane a ratings increaser person?
No.
Right. They could have just kept it a surprise, because that's the one thing the WWE does wrong, is they ruin the surprise because they want to attract ratings. In my opinion, if you just do it, the word, and they have to understand this, the word spreads so quick online, in the internet, and that's what they have as far as an advantage go, that people then will tune in. Oh, wait, what? Why is he back? Wait a minute, what's going on? But then for them to ruin it, I was a little upset. All right, so low points. Nice promo. That was the lowest point for me. I just didn't like it because, like you said, who the hell is that guy that's all of a sudden an authority figure that just fired her without pay? Doesn't make sense. Peyton Royce, these are my side notes now, but the lowest was Nia's promo. Unfortunately, with the whole Underground thing, you figured that would be, but it unfortunately wasn't. Peyton struggled a little bit with her promo.
She did.
Did you guys notice that?
I noticed it. Yeah.
She struggled a little bit, and I was, after what we just said about them, I was kind of like, whoa. All right.
And then Vince McMahon is actually behind Bianca Belair and Peyton Royce. Did not mention Billie Kay.
Wow.
So hopefully there's no curveball and they split up the Iconics, because they need
I hope
each
not,
other.
because I like Billie Kay.
I do
we
too.
both said that she is the Shawn of the group.
Yes.
Yeah, and Raw Underground's my side note. We'll talk more about that once you get started. But I am putting something in the book.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
And granted, Drew has improved as far as his promo skills go.
Okay.
But, homie, stop doing this. Randy Orton. I'm going to get you. Breathing all in the mic. I can't do it because I got sinus problems.
Oh, man.
But it's like, dude, Randy Orton. Like, take the mic away. My God, you don't know how annoying that is. Now watch. Now when everybody watches Drew's promo, they could realize, like, damn, you're right. So I'm putting it as Drew's Dragon Breath. It's going in the book.
All right. Drew's Dragon Breath. You just made the book.
All right. And overall, I gave Raw 1.85 this week.
Wow. Almost double on what I gave it this week.
Oh, shit.
Monday Night Raw is going to get its lowest rating for me ever. This show
you know what's odd? I forgot to get the ratings for this week, but I did saw Raw's rating went up significantly.
Because of Shane McMahon. But I will tell you this.
You're kidding me.
This is the lowest rating I've ever given Monday Night Raw, because it was absolutely despicably horrible. And you know what, Tony? About a month ago at a pay-per-view, I gave, it was at WrestleMania, I believe, where I gave the what's the name? Street Profits a 0 because they did that stupid spoof with the Viking Raiders, you know? Yeah. And I said, Tony, this is going to be my only one. But you know what, Tony? I'm sorry. This is definitely the last one. Raw Underground is getting a fucking 0. There is no way. First of all, you have this horrible thing where you have Shane McMahon saying, you guys want to tune in tonight at 10 p.m. You're going to want to see this. What the fuck? Like, you just spoiled it even more.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see it already. Like, I didn't care about Shane McMahon coming back. Now, you're showing me why he's back, and now I really don't want to watch it. That being said, there was a lot of .5s as well. Tozawa defeating Truth and Benjamin. I mean, that was ridiculous. 0.5. Nia Jax's promo, 0.5. Garbage. Like, she is garbage on the mic. She is terrible. Tony, I can't with her no more. And the thing is, the problem is with Nia Jax, they always put her on after somebody cuts a good fucking promo. Last week, it was Randy Orton cutting an amazing promo. This week, Drew McIntyre started off this promo, and I said, this is the same shit everybody says about Randy Orton. And then all of a sudden it changed. Randy Orton said the same thing. This is what everybody says to me. And then Drew got serious. And I gave it a 2.5. That's actually my highest rating. Even though you gave him Dragon Breath and you put him in the book, I gave it a 2.5. That is my highest rating of Monday Night Raw this week.
Wow.
And I will tell you this whole thing with Ford and the Street Profits, he's poisoned. And Bianca Belair, hey, I don't go here. What are you doing, Selena Vega? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, how do we know? And Dawkins' acting skills was disgustingly bad.
That was bad.
Bro, everybody says that he was poisoned, bro.
Yeah.
Come on. How do you know?
Like, what the hell's wrong with you, man?
I didn't know he was fucking poisoned. How did you know he was poisoned?
Yeah.
You know what? Overall, I gave Raw a 0.9.
Wow.
And I do want to put something in the book.
Okay.
And it's because Zelina Vega, what the fuck were you wearing? What the? and because of that, I want to put the Blessed Mother Zelina in the book.
Jesus.
What in holy Christianity were you thinking?
What is it called again?
The Blessed Mother Zelina. What the fuck? Like, how are we supposed to take you serious? I know, Tony, I know she loves cosplay. I know she loves all that shit.
Yeah.
But how am I supposed to take you seriously wearing that?
It's true.
There's no way.
Yeah.
So, Blessed Mother Zelina, you just read the book.
Awesome.
All right, it is now time for our NXT POV Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
Now, Tony, this was apples and oranges away from Monday Night Raw. This was totally a different show for me. Mm-hmm. My highest point, and this is pretty much the highest I've given in a very long time. I've given Dakota Kai defeating Rhea Ripley a 4. I thought this was a great match. Not just for women. I just thought it was a great match altogether. And I was hoping that Dakota Kai won. But I was like, how are you going to make Dakota Kai win without making Rhea Ripley look small?
Yeah.
Because Rhea Ripley needs a come up, And they did it perfectly because now you put her against somebody like Mercedes Martinez, which is a great storytelling, and you get Dakota Kai to fight Io Shirai at NXT TakeOver 30. So great storytelling, a great match overall. I just thought it was great altogether. My lowest point, and I gave it a 1, was Lee defeating Cameron Grimes. I don't like this Lee. Do not like it. I don't, like the slow pace. He's never had a slow pace match in his life. He's walking slowly. He got this mean mug on his face. I understand you're angry, but bro, like, fight the way you fight. Add some more aggression to the way you fight, but don't just start walking around like The Undertaker did back in 1991. Overall, I gave NXT this week a 2.4, and I do have to say, Bronson Reed defeating Shane Thorne, I gave that a 3. I thought that was a great... Shane Thorne is really good. He is really good. Priest defeating Lorcan and Rich Holland, who's also really good. I gave that a 3. I do have to say this, though. I am not impressed with Pat McAfee at all. I'm glad they did this thing where the wrestlers are turning on him.
Yeah.
Beth Phoenix walking away from the booth. Triple H, Shawn Michaels getting upset with him. But seriously, I'm supposed to now take Adam Cole as a babyface because Pat McAfee is talking shit? Come on.
Yeah.
So I'll keep an eye on that. And it is official. They will be fighting.
Yeah.
At NXT TakeOver. I want to see him do the Sunrise. What is it? The Panama Sunrise, the Canadian Destroyer, to Pat McAfee. Ooh. That's not going to happen. That's a difficult fucking move to take.
Yeah,
if Pat McAfee takes the Panama Sunrise, I tell you what, I'll give that match a 3.5 just because of that move.
Give it a 4.
I'll give it a 4. I'll give it a 4. And you know what? If he pulls that move off, I'll put it in the match of the year category.
Oh my God. That's a little bit too much. That's a little bit too much.
Oh, it's not going to happen. We don't have to worry.
Yeah.
It may happen.
I agree with you. I'll go with my lows. The Keith Lee versus Cameron Rhymes, I gave it a 1.5. Tegan Knox versus Indy Hardwell, I gave it a 1.5. Actually, the Keith Lee Cameron Grimes, I gave it a 1.5. Sorry, I'm reading other shit. Unfortunately, I gave Bronson Reed and Shane Thorne, I gave that a 1.5. Okay. The highest moment for me, there was a couple 2.5s. Rhea Ripley versus Dakota Kai, I gave it 2.5. And the thing is, I agree with you because of the simple fact that they were planting this seed with Rhea Ripley and what's the guy's name again?
Robert Stone.
Robert Stone. They've been planting that seed for a while, and then now we see it, which was a good way for Rhea Ripley to lose without really damaging her. I'm not a fan of her hair color, though. It's like it's just something that's off about it. Another 2.5 I gave was the Damian Priest versus Oney Lorcan and Ridge Holland. I gave it 2.5. Now, is it me or do you get like a Razor Ramon vibe from Damian Priest?
You know, I've been thinking about this for weeks, and I wanted to bring it up because he does remind me a lot of Razor Ramon. Mm-hmm. I don't like it that they call it the Razor's Edge when he does it.
Oh, really? They do? I didn't even notice that.
They do that. And I wanted to ask you, do you think they should do away with that where, like, they call the angle slam when Shorty G does it? It's the angle slam. Or they'll mention Ric Flair. Like, they don't mention Ric Flair when they say figure. Just say the name of the move, you know? Yeah. You don't have to say, you can call it a crucifix bomb. You don't need to call it the Razor's Edge.
I think what it is, I mean, they're trying not to disrespect the wrestlers that came up with those moves. Yeah. So that's why they do that. But I do agree. I mean, if they can come up, like if Damian Priest, like what you just said, what did you just call it?
The crucifix bomb, which is what it's called. Bomb.
Well, yeah, no, I know that. But if Damian Priest calls it like the Priest bomb or the or keep it as the crucifix bomb, I don't know, or the Archer bomb or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I get you.
That would be fine. To pay homage of those who created that move, I think, I don't know, I'm like half on it. I'm 50-50 on it. I think they should, if they can give it a name, but I think they're more concentrating on giving their finishers a name. So that way they can still, you know, because there's finishers out there, like Charlotte's figure eight. The only reason why they call it figure eight is because she's, you know, pushes herself up with her arms, adding 2 more limbs, I guess. I don't know. I don't fucking know. But what is it? The bank statement. That's similar to who? Chris Benoit. And obviously they're not going to call it that. So I think they concentrate more on their finisher than they do the regular move sets throughout the match. You know, and they only, like I said, they do it because they don't want to disrespect the people that created those moves. But no, I agree with you. I think it's funny that we just said that about Damian Priest not resembling, but attitude and a little bit of the looks. Like he's a newer version of the Razor Ramon, but to call it the Razor's Edge, then I don't know. That's a hard one there. That is a hard one. But I think they don't, like I said, they only do it because they don't want to disrespect the people who created those moves. But at the same time, it kind of makes it hard for people to come up with moves.
Yeah.
Because their fear is they're going to only call it the angle slam. They're only going to call it the razor's edge. Why am I going to do that? I'm trying to be my own person and this and that. One person we definitely hate talking about on this show is Taz. Taz is he got his head shoved so far up his ass because the minute he sees somebody doing one of his moves, he always says, well, they should at least acknowledge that I'm the one that did it. Call it the Taz Plus because that's what it was. I'm the one that created. No, you didn't create it, dumbass. God, I can't stand it. Wait until we talk about AEW, man. Oh, God. But yeah, the whole Pat McAfee thing, I get it. He was a punter. I understand that. And he punts Adam Cole. And
but you can't have that when you just brought back Randy Orton's punt kick.
That's true.
You know,
well, it depends on how they do it. Like, if they really do it to where he's aiming at the head, then you're absolutely right. You just brought back the punt kick that Randy Orton does, and now you're going to have this guy do it as a finisher? I don't think so. No. But I knew they were going to do something like that. But you're right. To have Adam Cole as a babyface and Pat McAfee with the bullshit that he said and Triple H pushing him 2 times. Oh, my Lord.
And then he has like a voice like this. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like Jerry Seinfeld. And then he went, bitch.
What's wrong with this guy? What is wrong with this guy? Shut up. That's one thing I'm not looking forward to.
Like, why?
But I do like his attitude. As far as for a heel, I did like that. But
Tony, we always said
unusual.
It's easy for people to be a heel.
Exactly. It is. But at what you just said, though, I can't take Adam Cole as a babyface.
No.
I can't. With that being said, another honorable mention I do is Legado de Fantasma.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I really like that group. Yeah. I really like this dude, Fantasma, he is killing it as a leader of that group. That is something I'm afraid that they don't mess up when they make it to the main roster.
Yeah.
Now, if they included Lucha House Party in that group and fucking get rid of the name Lucha House Party altogether, that's going to be a really cool stable there.
I agree.
But, yeah. But overall, I gave NXT a 1.92 this week.
All right. Let's go into AEW Dynamite. For me, the highest point had to be Dark Order defeating the Elite. I gave it a 3.
Okay.
Wasn't the best, but I thought it was good enough to be the best match on the card.
Okay.
I don't like 6-on-6 matches or 5-on-5 matches. It's just too chaotic, and I still don't understand why the Elite is hanging out with FTR. I don't get it. I do have to say though, it was great. I'm enjoying the Dark Order now. I'm enjoying what they're showing. However, there's no reason why the Dark Order should be in a match with Cody and Matt Cardona, whatever the fuck your name is.
Cardona.
I gave that a 1.5, but that wasn't my lowest moment. My lowest moment is Big Swole defeating Reba. Reba has no business being in a ring.
No.
She is so not ready for the business. And if she was acting, she acted really bad at being a bad wrestler.
Yeah.
And Big Swole is no better. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it a 0.5. I do have to say, another high spot. Actually, it's the same thing. I gave it a 3. The AEW debate. And I wanted to hate this. I wanted to hate this so badly. But when Orange Cassidy started talking, I lost it. I lost my shit. I was laughing hysterical. And then when he got serious and said, "Look at me, Chris. It's going to be embarrassing for you when you lose to me." And that's it. I was just like, you know what? That is a perfect way to end that. Honestly, I thought it was a great moment. But I do have to say this Matthew Hardy thing is not going to go over. But I will say this, Sammy Guevara should be fired. He should be fired for that chair shot. How fucking...
Here's the side thing on this.
Give me it.
Well, apparently he grabbed the wrong chair.
Okay.
He didn't grab the gimmick chair, which is the regular fold out, steel where the flat end, that's what he was supposed to throw at him. They said he panicked and grabbed the wrong chair because he couldn't find the gimmick chair. So that's why he grabbed that chair. And when he threw it, it just, like I saw it, that lip part, the top lip just like hit his head.
The way he threw it, he torpedoed it straight at his head.
Yeah.
There was no time for Matt to put his hands up or anything.
Yeah.
He was literally...
I think if he had the gimmick chair, no matter how fast you throw it, it would have been on the good part of the chair. And I don't think anything would have happened to Matt. But it was just unfortunate for Sammy to panic like that and grab the wrong chair. Like, he couldn't find it. So he was, like, panicking because obviously cameras are on him. So he just grabbed the nearest fucking chair and threw it. And that's what
I'm sorry. You should not be throwing a fucking chair within 5 feet of a person at full fucking speed.
A lot of the wrestlers have done that,
But
what's
they
his
grab
name?
it.
Rob Van Dam. He was famous for that.
But we're at a different time now where we understand how concussions fucking work. And not only that, Tony, he didn't grab it from the side. Like when you grab the two sides of a chair, you throw it forward. He grabbed it from the bottom and from the top and fucking chucked it. So of course the top of the chair is gonna hit him in the fucking face because you're not throwing it horizontally. Or vertically.
But I think
you threw it horizontally.
I think his rationale was that he grabbed the chair with the cushions on it, if you noticed.
Yeah.
And he thought in his rational head, thinking that nothing was gonna,
Bro,
this won't be that bad.
I'm sorry, man.
Worst luck in the world.
If I have a job and I fucking do, well, it wasn't that bad, or it could have been worse, or I didn't think it was gonna be this bad, and I told my boss, listen, I didn't think I was gonna burn the school down. I'm getting fucking fired. This guy does not. Listen, I am sorry, yo, man. Sammy Guevara is already on my shit list. This is a fireable fucking offense. I am sorry, man.
They did say that he got a stern talking to.
Yes, they did say that because Matt Hardy was fucking pissed.
He was pissed,
Needed 10 stitches.
14, I thought it was.
14 stitches and fucking concussed. Overall, I gave AEW a 1.9 this week.
Wow. So me and you have basically the same thing, except for the Eric Bischoff, the Jericho and Orange Cassidy debate. I think I might call you Apple Serrano after this shit. But I mean, it was, for me, I was just like, this was just dumb. And the thing of it is, Jericho works well when somebody's debating back with him, when they're going back and forth. He's a genius at comebacks, and that's what he does. So you can still see Jericho not really struggling, but he was still like how we say about Jeff Hardy, how he needs the crowd to get over. Yes. Jericho, he needs that altercation for his promos to work. And when they did the whole thing, when he was throwing logic, Orange Cassidy, for me, it just threw the whole thing off.
Speaking of crowd, that pumped in crowd noise does not fucking work with AEW. It sounds awful.
It's bad, yeah. But I mean, just the questions that was being asked was dumb. Why? That was just a one-off for Eric Bischoff, and I get it.
He shouldn't have been there. I'm sorry.
He shouldn't have been there. He looked lost. He looked like he didn't even want to be there anyway. He had heat with Tony Khan, and apparently they squashed it. But I think he just did a poor job and wanted to fuck it up anyway. Now, my highest moment, though, of AEW was Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley. I gave it a 3. I enjoyed it, and I'm not a fan of Darby. The lowest point was Reba versus Big Swole. I'm a fan of Big Swole, but I was not a fan of this match. Very, very sloppy. Like I said, if she was faking it, then okay, fine. I get it. I understand it. But my thing, this is a side note. The best friend's van
Yeah.
Then they destroyed it. That was my mother's van. When did this happen? When did this become a storyline? Number one. Number two, was this supposed to be funny? I don't get it.
I mean, the only thing that it does for me, and yeah, they did bring it up because there were a couple of times where the mom, there's a pay-per-view where the mom drove them with the van.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But for me, the thing that bothers me about it is because this was supposed to be Santana and Ortiz's like serious moment.
Yeah.
And I got that from them where they say, tell your mom I said, you know, I really enjoyed that part. But
I did
aside from that, it's just like you're making a comedy out of it. And I wasn't even a fan of the Best Friends defeating Santana and Ortiz.
Yeah.
The only thing I really appreciated about this was that Santana and Ortiz got some kind of revenge. And it was on the van. Yep. And hopefully they go over on them again because Santana...
I hope so too.
Split up Santana and Ortiz from the Inner Circle and let them run. Listen, put Eddie Kingston back with them. Create LAX again, you know?
Now, but here's my issue, and the reason why I brought this up, and this might not seem like anything for the casual listener or viewer, but as a pro wrestler, as a former wrestler myself, I look at all these little intricate things that could have done it better, or if I see it, I'm going to call out on it. Now, I will say this, the WWE, what they do well is that they cover their asses as far as everything else goes. Now, if they did this scene, and like I said, I know this isn't going to sound like a lot to most people, but it does to me. If WWE did this scene, they would have at least put a fake fucking license plate on the goddamn van.
I saw Tony, I said the same thing. The least you could have done. Yeah. You could have put BFF's mom.
Or exactly, BFF mom,
Yeah.
I don't care if you did it on paper. Jesus. There was no license plate on there, and it's kind of, all right, come on. You know,
there was a camera in the van. If you want to pick it apart.
And there was a camera in the van. And WWE has done that before, where they had a camera in the limo or some shit. But it doesn't make it good. Like, you're supposed to know that that's not good to have a fucking camera inside the van. I would have just appreciated that segment more if they did those little things. Not do the camera inside the van. Put a fucking license plate on the damn thing. It was ridiculous. I hated it. I know people are listening and like, why are they making a big deal about it?
It's the little things, okay?
It's the little things, exactly. And so just like that, I don't know. But I gave AEW a 1.71 this week.
All right. So now it's time for the Wednesday Night Delight where we have NXT go head-to-head against AEW. Currently, NXT is ahead 26 to AEW's 14. Currently, AEW has won, I think, 3 weeks in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
AEW?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I will tell you this, that Elio Canella and TJ Logan have voted, and they both voted in favor of AEW this week.
Wow.
Now, where does that leave you? Where are you voting?
Well, the one thing I wanted to mention was the promo on NXT from Karrion Kross. Unbelievable. Loved it.
Yeah.
That was it. But my decision, now I have NXT. As far as my rating go, I have NXT beating AEW 1.92 to 1.71. Honestly, these were both tight shows. These two were really, really close. I was entertained with AEW, and that's rare to hear that out of my mouth, even though I was just complaining about the minivan thing. But I was also entertained with NXT. Phantasma, that segment. Even the final segment with Pat McAfee, I thought that was entertaining. I love the Damian Priest match. You know what? I'm going to go with AEW this week.
Wow.
I'm going to go with AEW, yeah. I think I was more entertained with AEW by just a smidgen. They had blood. I'll give it. Wow. I'll say it because of one of them was an accident.
That is shocking. I'm going NXT. I thought NXT was the better overall show. You know, thank God that you voted for AEW, because then we would have had a tie, and then Miguel Cole would have had to break the tie.
Kept him out of it.
And you
Kept him
know
out of it.
he would have voted wherever Tom was voting, so it doesn't matter.
That's true.
You goddamn right. So, all right. So, AEW is riding a streak. AEW now has 15 to NXT's 26. It is now time for the SmackDown breakdown.
Yeah.
SmackDown. Oof. You know, Josh Sanders commented during SmackDown. It was like
did he?
basically saying, "What the hell was that with the with Braun Strowman and the Fiend?"
Oh, the Fiend. Yeah.
And you know what? You're absolutely right, Josh. That was atrocious. That was disgustingly bad. What the fuck?
Now, what was bad about it? Was it Braun's promo or was
Braun's
it the Fiend?
promo? The Fiend was fine. The Fiend was just the Fiend. You know?
I tell you, man. I know it's the mask, but just the way he was just staring.
Yeah. It
God.
works. But
It does.
Braun Strowman is horrible.
Yeah.
First of all, it looked like he was in a bathroom. Like he was fucking...
He was taking
I'm
shit.
taking a shit. And
I'm taking a monster dump.
You gonna get these. Wait, let me wash them.
Sterile hands.
Hands. Like, come on. You want to talk about Seth Rollins? Doing Braun's voice hurts my throat. Ugh.
I bet it does.
Oh, man. So, yeah, my lowest point was the Fiend and Braun promo. Gave that a 0.5. I also gave the Dirt Sheet a 0.5. What are you doing? Mandy's hair? This is where we're at right now in wrestling. Like this, and let's get something together. Are we in the Dirt Sheet or are we on Miz TV? It's the same fucking setup.
Isn't it the same setup and the same fucking concept and the same fucking thing?
Miz TV should be canceled unless Miz is by himself.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have Morris in there, it's fucking the Dirt Sheet.
Yeah.
I should have said that last week, but now I'm saying it this week. Also, another 0.5 I gave out. Retribution at the end. The fuck were you guys doing? First of all, they're running around chasing people away. Fine. That whatever. You're hitting things with your weapons. And then when you go into the crowd, you drop your weapons and you hit them with your fist. Why are you not using your weapons?
And obviously, there's a few females that got in there, and one of them has brown curly hair.
Well, there's two women, like I can tell. But they're all the same fucking height. All 5 of them are like 5'2".
Yeah.
So like, what the fuck is this? Is this fucking Lucha House Party behind these masks? Like, what the fuck?
Bingo!
It's terrible. I mean, Elio Canella could fucking tower over them.
Jeez.
No offense, Elio. And then they destroyed nothing. They fucking... First of all, the black did not go well on the plexiglass or in the ring.
Yeah.
The red stood out, the red spray paint, but the black did not stand out at all. Someone fucked up that. And then what do? You fucking chainsaw the ropes? That's your destruction? That's your retribution?
That is their destruction. But did you notice, but I know there was spray cans, but the one guy carrying the bag, I honestly thought they were going to set the ring on fire.
Would have been something different.
It would have been something different. But instead he had spray cans, and I was just like, oh, boy.
Overall, I mean, the highest point I gave to Cesaro defeating Dorado. I enjoyed it. I think Lindsay Dorado is a star. I did not like that promo, though. Whack. I don't like words like that. It's just so simple. Overall, it's lazy. You're absolutely right. And then all the Sheamus and Corbin. I liked it that they said backstage after Sheamus lost his match against Riddle because of DQ. I was like, okay, this will progress into a story down the line. No, we had them appear 3 fucking times, including a match. Stupid.
Yeah.
Overall, I gave SmackDown this week a 1.3.
Wow.
What are you going with?
For me, like I said, the lowest point, well, like you said, the lowest point, it was a dirt sheet. I gave it a 0.5. It was just bad. But honestly, my highest point didn't even go past the 2. So I'll just read it off real quick. Miz and Morrison versus him and Machinery. I gave it a 2. Matt Riddle versus Sheamus. I gave it a 2. It wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty decent.
Me too. I agree.
But for me, if with all the 2s that stood out, and this is odd. The 1-2 that I did give, it was for Bailey and Sasha's promo with Steph.
Yes.
And I appreciated it because Steph was just like, even though you found a way, but here's the deal. You know, I just like segments like that because she was planting more stuff for us in the future, which was I'm looking forward to Raw this week because they're having a battle royal.
Yes, with all three brands,
which so is I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
Yeah, which is different. So I think that's the one that stood out most of all. The one thing, and this is a side note, I do, and when I saw this, I was like, okay, I like this. Was Sonya Deville's pairing with The Miz and Morrison. When they came out together, I'm like, you know what? It kind of fits.
Yep.
So I'm just kind of hoping that they still stick together and not drift Sonya Deville away. Keep her with them because she kind of almost looked like their manager. Yeah. Similar, almost. So I was appreciative of that. But I am adding another thing into the book. We did just touch base a little bit on Retribution. You're right. I'm curious to know where they're going with this. Because if all they're going to do is just go out there and just break shit and not go anywhere with this, then it's like, all right, you guys are wasting my fucking time. But I am putting Retribution's orgy sounds is going in the book.
Absolutely.
It sounds like they were like, you know, I was like, what is this, a fucking orgy?
Yeah, that's spot.
It was terrible. So Retribution's orgy sounds going in the book.
Retribution's orgy sounds? You just made the book!
So overall, I gave SmackDown a 1.64 this week.
Wow. You've been generous lately. All right, it is now time for Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. Currently, Raw is ahead 8 to NXT 6 to SmackDown's 2. Tony, I am definitely going with NXT this week. Yeah. I gave Raw my lowest ever. SmackDown was a close second. And I gave NXT this first place spot. What, you going with NXT as well?
Yeah. But it's weird because how, in order, like I have Raw beating SmackDown in my ratings, 185 to 1.64. But my list, it would go NXT, SmackDown, and then Raw.
Yeah, I'm absolutely with you on that one. And you know what's funny? Elio Canella, I said, Elio, we need you because if we have a tie, we need you to break the tie. Elio changed his fucking mind 3 times. Elio went from Raw to in first place, and he's like, no, SmackDown. And then just minutes ago, he's like, NXT, SmackDown, and then Raw. I was like, all right, that's what it is. So NXT would have won anyway. So NXT now has 7. So it's 8 to 7 to 2. Let's open up the book.
May I please have your attention? The store will be closing in 5 minutes.
All righty. That's all we got left anyways. I think. I don't even know anymore. Oh, my Lord. All right, so those that are new to the show, basically what we do is we put the most ridiculous things that happened in the week of wrestling. And, boy, were we adding them in the past 2 weeks, boy, because the list is full. I mean, full to the And like I said, it's just so we can get a good laugh, and we sure do need it in a time like this. And you, the fans, also have every right to say, hey, why don't you put this in the book? I'm getting a little bit tired of it. And we'll discuss it. And more than likely, we'll put it in there, too, just so we can get a good laugh. So, you ready?
Yes, let's do it.
All right. Sam Roberts, go fuck yourself.
Fuck him.
Garza's cousin, Speedos.
You know, when this dude pulled off his pants, Dawkins, in the match, I said, listen, ain't nothing wrong with that. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it stays.
Oh, my God. Jesus. Liv Morgan's cage wedgie.
You know what? The only reason why we have this in the book is to remind us of how dangerous Elimination Chamber matches can be. And also to bring up the point that the Riot Squad is back together. So,
yeah, we never even mentioned that. On the raw nose, it's fucked up. It stays. Coronavirus.
Stays.
Jeff Hardy's 1-gallon dehydrated piss jar.
What the fuck is happening with Jeff Hardy? Are they not going to mention that his fucking face got painted and he had different color contacts in during a bar fight? Like, how the fuck did that happen? And no one mentions it.
They went silent. They went silent. That's what happened. Unbelievable.
Stays.
All right. MVP's older brother suit.
That stays because he's
Dolls something about Mary's hightail.
I
He
would
was
take
in
it
the
out.
underground.
He wasn't underground. Like, Lord, why are they doing this? Viking Raiders were underground.
Yes. Yes.
Bad. I would take it out. I'm done with like Dolph.
Take it out. He's done.
If he's in the underground, he's not going to be wearing ponytails. I don't think. Or maybe
is
he will.
true.
And we'll put it back in.
Yeah, if he does, we'll put it back in. The TNT title.
Stays. Well, August 12th is around the corner.
Right around the corner.
Next week.
Yeah, we'll see. Michael Cole's foot fetish. You saw the way he was staring at Matt Riddle during his match?
You know what? I'm just going to stay because of that.
So it stays. He was staring at him like, ooh, Mr. Betterfeet Man. Why did I did an accent for Michael Cole?
Mr. Betterfeet Man?
I was like, ooh, Mr. Barefoot Man. Mr. Barefoot Man. Shabba. All right. Jericho and Khan's demo.
Demo God stays.
Ruby Riot's green weave.
It got greener.
It did get greener, so it stays. Braun's headpiece.
It stays because he was in the fucking toilet.
Seth's man bun.
That stays. It's just atrocious.
Kenny Omega's shorts.
It stays because I can't stand the Elite right now.
Naomi's glitter chest.
Stays.
I can't believe I have to say this. Put your meat on my meat.
That stays. And nothing with Big E this week. Like, just a promo in the back, which was terrible, by the way.
Put your meat on my meat, man. All right, dog. Terrible. Dominic's father's pants.
That stays, and Dominic's going to have a match at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
The fuck?
He got a match at SummerSlam. Now, the new entrance into the book, Retribution's orgy sound effects.
Oh, stays.
Drew's dragon breath.
Stays.
And the blessed Mother Selena.
That stays. Like, why are you wearing that, girl?
Why did that was, I mean, I can't stick up for you, Selena. If you keep doing that, can't do it. All right, that's the end of the show.
Yeah.
So before we close the show, though, I will play a song from my playlist. And it's just you go up against the Wrestling POV crew. And it's just how we ride off into the sunset until next week, where we'll be giving you more content. And I got to remind you guys again, either for us or the global guys, you got any comments or questions, throw it on our Facebook page. And we will get back to you really, really quick. And we will discuss it on the show. With that being said, I am your host, Tony Diaz, along with the third wheel,
Rick Sorrento III,
and our intern,
Miguel Cole. I hate this show.
Oh, Jesus. Love, peace, and wrestling. We will see y'all next week.
Then why the fuck are you here? What?
Right, exactly.
Your line is peace out. Just say it. Peace out.
Oh, damn. All right, you ready?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Let's do it. Mickey James?
No.
Oh my God! Oh, this is stupid of me. Why did I say Mickey James?
Old school.
Yeah, is that Steve Blackman?
Nope.
This is somebody I know. I know it. Oh my God.
I'll give you a clue. He was part of the Nation of Domination.
D'Lo?
Nope.
Is that Mark Henry?
Nope.
What the fuck is wrong with me? Godfather.
He was a former Intercontinental Champion.
Is that the Godfather?
No.
Oh, The Rock?
No.
Who? Farouk?
No.
Owen Hart?
No. You're missing one more person.
Kama?
Who?
Kama?
Say it's the Godfather. No, it's Ahmed Johnson.
Oh my God, the Pearl River Plunge.
You don't know the rights.
That's probably the worst I ever done in this game. If someone got that right, put it on our page, you fucking liar.